Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing the mid-season finale of Big City Greens Season 3 Episode 10, and it's called The Move. And yes, we finally made it to the mid-season finale, the midpoint. We are finally here, but I just want to say this to get this out of the way of I have decided that how I sometimes put community posts of like an episode, but I usually put it like before the episode comes out. I'm kind of deciding to kind of switch it by doing my review and putting the community post of what I thought of the review. What I thought of the episode after it. I'm gonna start doing that because I think it makes more sense. Like if I were to do all three things, which would be mini review, the full review, and then the community posts. That's what I'm thinking. But for this, because obviously today's Monday, but I didn't have any school because due to circumstances that I'm not gonna get into. But so no classes, hooray! Because Sunday it was Super Bowl Sunday, but also the Super Bowl game was going on, and all those trailers were happening in the halftime and stuff like that. So that was going on, but I had like a bunch of work that I needed to get done, so I had no time to do this big episode. So I'm gonna do my review, and I don't know how long this video is gonna be. Really, like I have no idea. Like it really depends like how long I do this intro, which I don't think it'll be too long, but also how long the episode is, and is my brain gonna like go on to another subject somehow. I don't even know how, but how long am I going to go into that conversation? Like if it could go into like a different subject, what the subject, how long would be. Anyway, so I'm kind of wondering like how long this can be. So I literally had no time to do it Sunday. So Monday, luckily, I was able to do this today. But because this was originally supposed to be for Sunday, I'm not gonna do a mini review for this episode. I want to, but I don't know. I just feel kind of weird about doing it now. So I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is do my full review. I'm gonna do a community post about it, and then because this was supposed to come out yesterday, Sunday, and Monday it's still like no classes. I'm gonna do my review of the rest of the episode titles for the second half of Big City Greens Season 3. I mean, unless some episode titles like are not available, but I'm pretty sure they are. Not all of them aired yet. Like there's like 4 left. But I'm pretty sure all of them are listed. At least I need to double check, but that will also come out today also. So yeah. So anything else I want to talk about before we begin? Okay, so yeah, I think that was everything. So let's get on with it. And literally, the first thing I really like this was one part, and I'm pretty sure if you see most of my reviews of Big City Greens, you would know because of this certain character. I just don't like him. I don't like his voice. I don't like it. But basically this episode is called The Move, and remember when Bill was talking to Cricket in the previous episode where he said, "Hey Cricket, I have a crazy idea." So basically, spoilers. They're moving to the country, and that's basically what this is. So we basically have Benny running to Wheezy Kiki. But we have this guy, and if you remember him, I'm pretty sure he was like background in like other episodes, but he had like I would say like a minor / major speaking role in the episode. What was the episode called? It was like an early season 1 episode where Cricket was gonna jump off the high dive, and Bill had his like B plot in the episode where he was in the hot tub and Tilly scuba diving in the pool and Grandma with her hair and stuff like that. That was back when like the show had like 4 plot points. And it did it really well. I think only like a couple times I ever felt like it should. Those plot points weren't really necessary. Kind of like Tilly and Bill with like the whack-a-mole type of thing. That wasn't necessary because of reasons. Go watch my review for that. I explained it. I'm not gonna get into it because I don't want to get upset right now. So yeah, so that's where this is from, the pool episode, because we went to the community pool twice. I guess technically 3 times if you remember the Valentine's dance where Cricket was trying to run away from Gabriella and he took off his tuxedo. He just went to the pool because there's a community center and the community pool's in the community center, so it happened like to be there in the other like gym room. So he just happened to go there. That moment was so funny when Gabriella just like saw him in there. It was absolutely hilarious. So yeah, so like the first time the Greens ever went to the community pool, this is where we see this guy. Oh, pretty cool. And I think that was also the first time we see Kiki, if I'm not mistaken. She was probably earlier, but I'm pretty sure that was her first time. Yeah. Okay, anyway. So we basically have Benny running to them, saying like, guys, you won't believe this. Like, and it cuts to different people, and we have Alex and Terry. Is, hey, like, do you remember that crazy country family? And they did all those crazy stuff. And Officer Keys is talking to the people made a comment online that they're kind of like Team Rocket from Pokemon, which they kind of are. And I forgot their names. Oh, what were their names? Oh, come on. Did I forget? Oh, I just remembered. Bash and Bella. Yeah, Bash and Bella. That's what that's their names. And Officer Keys arrested them. And he's like, "Hey, do you remember the country family that caused all those types of trouble? Like the one time." And remember this guy? These two, they're just like, I would think like really background, or they're just brand new designs. But if you remember this guy, I'm not sure if he showed up anywhere else. He might have like really background, but I would say he had like a minor speaking role when he was talking to Cricket, when Cricket was trying to pay for burritos, basically, and he was doing it through dance because he's poor. He just doesn't have any money. And then, and like, he's like, look, I'm not from the six or anything, but here in the big city, you have to pay with money and stuff. And that's where the bear came in. And that's what he's saying. Oh, they let a bear loose. And they hear, look, the bear, remember he likes the fish burritos from that episode? So I'm glad that we actually called that, because that was an episode. That was a thing that happened in Big City. The animal control was involved. Officer Keys was involved also. This guy got traumatized by the bear. He was literally right on top of him if you go watch the episode. Like, oh my goodness. So I'm glad they brought it back because, yeah, like, oh, what was her name? Daisy. It was Daisy, right? Yeah, Daisy. So Daisy's alive and well. I'm pretty sure we saw her, like, background in like another episode. I forget which one, if it was season 1, just like the bear episode, like where she originated from. That was season 1, or if that other episode was season 2. So I know she showed up the second time, but I'm not sure exactly where. It might have been season 2, but I'm not sure. So here we have Daisy. I guess she's doing well, and this is what I'm talking about. Ugh, Dan, I'm glad she kicked them. I'm sorry, that sounds so horrible. I'm so sorry, but he's so annoying. And he's like, oh, he has that voice. Oh my goodness. He's like, hey, remember when Nancy beat you in that motorcycle race? And then she kicked them. And she's kind of blushing. So like, oh, I would either come across in 2 different ways. Either one, she's embarrassed because she lost and she's really competitive and she's like, oh, can't believe she beat me. Or 2, she has a little bit of a crush on her. Which either is fine. So, that's interesting. I'm kind of back and forth on her hairstyle. I like her eye patch. That looks pretty cool. But yeah, she kicked Dan. Hooray. And we have, what was her name? Ramina Medina? Romina Medina. I'm probably saying her name so wrong. I'm so sorry. But she's like, remember when that country boy dropped the watermelon, the biggest watermelon in television history? Remember that? what was the episode called? Breaking News. And again, that's pretty cool that they brought that up. So, wait, hold on. This is exactly what happened in the episode where it splattered. So it's cool that we're bringing back different stuff. We brought back Cricket, Tilly, and Remy releasing the bear. We talked about what was the other one? Oh, right. So it was the bear, it was the motorcycle race, and then it was the watermelon on the city news. So that's pretty cool that they brought that back. We have Gwendolyn Zapp, and she's like, "Oh, remember when Tilly erased my brain and from it was like on the internet, but she downloaded like a separate file of her brain so she could still like survive or something." So yeah, she's crazy. Do not trust her. But she's like, "Hey, remember that?" She's like talking to herself, like, "Oh my goodness." And then we just have what's his name? Brett? Was that his name? He works at the animal shelter. Oh yeah, so Brett, and he's talking to Mr. Gregorian, and he's like, "Hey, our neighbors, and we have Camila Sue," and she's like, "Hey, well, guess what?" And everyone's like, "They're moving back to the country." You're like, the Greens are moving back to the country, and Gloria is saying goodbye to the Greens, and oh my goodness, Sally. Oh, I don't know how you're doing that. But it's like, Gloria's like, "I can't believe you guys are moving." And this part right here where Bill's kind of explaining stuff, I don't hate it. I don't hate it by any means. I just wish we kind of knew this information before the moving day. Like half a season before. Because he kind of explains that, the plan was always that the plan was always that we were going, okay, I guess this is one like the full plan. Well, basically the plan was ever since the farming community foreclosed our farm, and we had to come in live with my mom. Like, this is Bill talking to Gloria, with Ma's house. The plan is that we would stay with her until we can get back onto our feet, where we would get enough money to buy our old house back, or a new farmhouse back, or not back, a new farmhouse in general. And he basically says that was the plan, but he never really explained it. The only thing we knew is that because of they didn't have enough money, and also Nancy got in trouble because they were going to foreclose the house, so she got locked in jail. So the Greens had to leave, and then it came to Grandma's house, and that was kind of it. Also, they lost their truck, and recently in the Dirt Jar episode, that was a previous episode, we kind of learned that Bill trying to break the news to Cricket and Tilly. Even that episode, they didn't talk about, well, hey, we can come back here as soon as we can get back onto our feet and we can get enough money, but it's not always a guarantee. Like, he could have said that also, but so this is kind of like new information, but he said this was always the plan. Again, not a bad plan, and it kind of seems like of saying we're gonna live in Grandma's house. It does feel like a little open-ended. Like, is that gonna be permanent? Is it not gonna be permanent? So it did kind of leave it open-ended, but again, still, I would have liked a little bit more dialogue other than right before they're about to move. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That would have been a pretty cool season 2 episode that we kind of learned, like, oh, so they are planning to move back to the country, but as soon as they can go afford their old place back. Oh, I thought they were gonna stay here forever, but maybe it won't be forever. But like, how long would it be? How long would it take to get that much about, how much money would it cost? And also you had to take care of yourselves, and you had to support Gloria because she's living with you also, and also like if damage comes to the house, because of like storm or something, you have to use that money to fix the Alice's house also. So that would have been kind of interesting to think, oh, when and if will the Greens move back to the country? I think that would have been a pretty cool season 2 episode. I don't know. Like something. Again, this isn't horrible, but I am taking a point off because I would have liked just a little bit of dialogue and not right before the moving. I don't know. In the comments below, do you feel the same? I might be the only one. I might be the only one. But he's basically saying like, oh, since the vegetable stand is doing so well, and Gloria, thanks to you and your advice, and basically Alice's savings going into Gloria's and hers cafe, we have enough money to buy the house. And so yeah, I'm pretty sure we're back on our feet. So yeah, when Crick and I saw that for sale sign, I knew it was time to go home. And Gloria makes a joke. I like it. He's like, oh, it only seems like yesterday that Cricket was terrorizing me on a daily basis, and I hated your whole family's got. Hopefully you can't hear that. Sorry about that. Neighbors. But basically Gloria's kind of laughing it off. Like, oh yeah, I hated your whole family's guts, because that was the thing back early season 1, even going into early season 2, where she's sort of coming around to the Green family, but she still doesn't kind of like him. I think she kind of likes Cricket overall everyone else, but she's so just kind of tolerating him. But that's where we get the elevator action episode, and that's where she starts getting like a little bit more respect for him. And also the episode Paying to Misbehaving, that was the episode season 1, where I think the first time she actually called Bill Mr. Green, not like, hey you country bumpkin, like neighbor person. Like, no, she actually called him Mr. Green. I even made a point in that review, in that episode. I was like, oh, that's nice that she's giving him respect, not, oh, you hillbilly. Like, no, she's giving him respect. I really like that. So, like, oh, Gloria's kind of laughing it off. Like, oh, I'm going to miss you guys. I just want to play this right here.
I'm really going to miss you guys.
We're going to miss you too, Gloria. You've become like a third child to me. Speaking of children,
Sorry, I don't want to play too much. That's basically what I wanted to get, of where Gloria's like, I'm really going to miss you guys. And he's like, I'm going to miss you too, Gloria. You're like a third child to me. And that's really nice, because, we learned, like, if you've been catching up with my reviews, and, like, a little bit in season 1, but more in, like, around the end of season 2, we kind of learn that Gloria didn't really get along with her parents, especially with her cousin Emily. Are we ever going to meet her in person? That'd be pretty funny. And so basically Gloria kind of found in like 2 more parents within Bill and Nancy. I wish we'd gotten a little bit more with Gloria and Nancy, because we definitely seen Gloria and Bill interact. And so we got this moment right here. I totally buy it. But remember, what was it called? Gloria's Cafe, where when Gloria was talking to Nancy and Bill about, oh, you two became like a second set of parents. I would totally understand her point of view with Bill, but with Nancy, that basically is saying that, oh, they spent a lot of time with each other off screen. I wish a majority of that off-screen development with these 2 characters would have been on screen, because I think that would have been pretty cool. Like, I don't know, but so I was just kind of remembering that line where it's like, oh, that's sweet, but I wish Gloria would have hanged out with Nancy a little bit more. She definitely hanged out with Bill. We definitely know that. Because I don't think Nancy ever once worked at Big Coffee, right? I don't think she ever did, but Bill did. Alice and Cricket and Tilly totally did, but Nancy didn't. That's so crazy. But I'm glad they had this moment. Very, very wholesome. Are we ever gonna get Gloria called Bill Dad? Probably not. But and that's okay too. Gloria isn't obligated to. But that's what I'm kind of searching for. Those little moments of, is it going to elevate up to that level, or is it just gonna say of, I think of you as like a second dad or something, and that's totally fine. And when I hear Gloria's voice, I just can't help but think of Sasha from Amphibia, and I just can't help but I just don't think in not in like a million years, but like in 1,000 years, Sasha from Amphibia would be friends with someone like Cricket Green, that rambunctious boy. But it kind of shows that in maybe like in another universe, which is basically this universe, Gloria is best friends with Cricket, and he's also like Gloria's little brother. Sasha, she never really had like a little brother or that type of friend before, because if you've seen Amphibia, Sasha and Sprig don't get along, and even when they're kind of not at each other's throats, they're not really hanging out or anything. So, which I think would be kind of like a missed opportunity, but But basically, I just really like this moment. And Bill's like, hey, like, what about children? Like, where's Cricket? and Cricket's like, oh, are we back home yet? and he's like, oh, dang it, we're still here. And then Bill's like, Cricket, what are you doing? You scared us. And he's like, oh, sorry, Dad. And he's like, aren't you supposed to be packed? He's like, I am packed. Don't worry, got all my clothes right here. And look, I brought Remy. And I was like, oh. And basically he explained where Remy's like, I'm ready to go. And hey, take a look at this. Excuse me. I could be wrong, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, but I'm pretty sure this is the British flag. Eiffel Tower, Route 66, Japan, Egypt, cactus. I'm not sure what this one's right here. Maybe it's like a desert or something, or maybe it's like another Egypt one. So that's pretty cool. Simply designed, but I do like the suitcase. And I like the bluish gray. It kind of reminds me of like a Batman type of outfit, like that type of bluish gray. It kind of reminds me of that. Maybe Remy's a fan of Batman. Who knows? Well, that would be pretty cool if we got like a bat signal, but they probably wouldn't be able to do that. It would have been like a lot of money, I think, to have like a bat symbol on Remy's suitcase. But anyway, he even has like the hobo type of thing. Why do you have that? But whatever. So Remy's like, I'm ready to go, and then Bill's like, go where? And he's like, oh, my parents said I can come along with you guys on like a study abroad program to examine the country and see what country life is like. That's pretty cool. And again, development from when the Remingtons first meet Cricket and Tilly, they didn't like them at all, and when they first met Bill and Alice, remember that family dinner episode where Bill's like, oh, it'll be good to meet the Remingtons. And same thing with the Remingtons meeting the Greens, and they found that they were really different. They did a whole football match. Go watch my review of that. That was pretty cool. Tilly was the coach. Awesome. But so Remy's like, oh, my parents said I can go on the study abroad program. Because I was kind of thinking, oh, that's going to be probably heartbreaking that Remy and Cricket are going to be separated. But no, this is where we can keep Remy into the show. Oh, I love that. There's a bunch of other people that kind of make an appearance that I wish were here in this moment. Not overstepping Remy's moment, but kind of make this kind of bigger. Because like, where's Gabriella? But like, Andromeda, where are they? Because I was talking about them in my previous review. How come they're not here? But I'm sorry, I'm kind of stepping over Remy's moment. I don't want to do that. But he's like, oh, I can, like, Cricket said, do you be okay with it? And Bill's like, oh, he did he? And Cricket's like, I thought I told you, Dad. He said, no, he didn't tell me. And Remy's kind of looking like, oh, does that mean I can't go? and I like how Bill's like, hey, I'm sure you can come with us. I'm pretty sure we have room like on the farm. And yeah, I can totally show you the ropes. This moment, it definitely reminds me of the episode DIY Guys. Remember that season 1 episode? Where Bill was kind of taking Remy under his wing, and he even called him son. I know a lot of parental figures call like a little boy, like it's kind of like a quote unquote member of the family called him like son or something like that. But he did call him like, oh, don't worry, son, I know where I'm going, because he was lost in the hardware store because he was looking for a vacuum belt. Go watch that review. Again, a lot of references, and that's pretty cool that they're kind of talking. And he said, yeah, I'm sure you can come, Remy. And he's like, yippee skippy. Remy, you're adorable. And even Tilly's kind of wondering, like, hey, what is Vasquez gonna do? Like, remember his bodyguard? What's he gonna do without you as his ward, like, to look after? Oh, he's gonna take up some of his hobbies. And you have Vasquez kind of painting an angel Remy. He's like, why you had to leave me, Master Remy? And oh my goodness. But again, that kind of plays into why is Vasquez serving the Remingtons specifically? Again, what happened between him and Viper Fang? Again, what happened? Because you're probably wondering, how come I'm not taking a point out for Vasquez acting like a baby and missing Remy? Again, because I think there's a deeper story there of why he's so attached. Will they ever go into it? I do not know. But seriously, I really want, or a spin-off of Fang Island, or the Order of the Fang, or whatever. Come on, man. Because if you just leave it like that, because yeah, like Vasquez is acting like a bit of a baby, and I'm not saying that men can't cry. Like, I cried before, it's fine, but he is acting like a bit over the top. But again, I think there's a deeper story there. But the question is, will they ever go into it, or is it only going to be Bill and Vasquez going to Fang Island to fight off Viper Fang, and that was it, that little confrontation, that's it? Like, come on, give us more. But I wonder, with Remy being in the country, I wonder if we're gonna get like a Vasquez going back to Fang Island, or Viper Fang learns that, oh, Remy's in the country, he's not with Vasquez's bodyguard, he snatches him, and that brings into like a 2-part episode or something of all of them going to Fang Island. Like, and islands are usually big. I don't think it was a small island. I think it was a big island, so we can explore different parts of the island also. I think that'd be pretty cool to rescue Remy, and because I'm not sure if Remy's aware that Vasquez used to be a part of the Order of the Fang. I'm not sure, because I thought it was really convenient, if you remember the Spaghetti Theory episode that was back in season 2, where what was it? When Vasquez basically threw Viper Fang out of the house, like through the window. He's like, "Oh, you won't be able to you get rid of me." So and he kind of went away. It's immediately as he gets blown away, Remy wakes up. I think that was intentional. Why wouldn't Remy talk about it before? Like, oh, Vasquez used to be a part of this. It was really dangerous, but he never talks about it. So. Again, give me a spin off the Order of the Fang if you're never gonna bring up again in Big City Greens. Like, come on. But and Bill's like, besides all that, Bill's like, hey, come on, Ma, like, you gotta help us. He's like, and very distinctive shades. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm coming. And Gloria's like, new glasses house? No, I always wear these. And she's kind of sniffling. Oh, and they're kind of like, and Bill's like, why are you sniffling, Ma? He's like, oh, and she's like, achoo, and she's crying because she's gonna miss them. And again, reminds me of another episode. What was it called? Sweet Retreat. I think it was in season 1, when Alice was saying like, oh, you're all getting in my way. I don't want you here. Oh, you in your rambunctious ways. Get out of here. Like, I'm booking you a suite so you can give me peace and quiet. And then when she actually got the peace and quiet, it was too lonely for her, and she doesn't want to go back to that. So now she's gonna be really sad. But Gloria's gonna be living with her now, so like, so she won't be alone. So that's gonna be pretty interesting. He's all rats, and then Tilly and Cricket is oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, poor Belle. But it's like, oh, Grandma, like, don't worry. And I want to play this right here.
Don't worry. We'll come back to visit you.
Oh, I know. I'm fine. It's just these dang tear ducks betraying my will. You don't know.
So she's like, oh, these dang tear ducts betraying my will. And she's like, oh, don't worry, Grandma, we'll come to visit you. I wonder if we actually are going to get an episode in the second half of season 3, or maybe season 4 of visiting Grandma. Maybe, who knows? But, and I was like, oh, like, you two, I would move with you guys because to keep him within the family. But it's if you guys remember, but she had said, it's my sacred duty to protect the family home. Again, another reference to the episode Family Legacy. I'm not sure if it was season 1 or season 2. Maybe season 2. I'm not sure. Definitely would have been season 2A. definitely not season 2B. But maybe it was season 1B. Who knows? But Family Legacy, when Alice was kind of thinking, oh, the family treasure is just junk, I'm just gonna sell the place, and then say, no, the farm is the treasure. And then Alice is saying, it says to the developers, the Green family farm, this one right here, is gonna be remaining with the Greens now and forever. So this is where she's bringing it up. I made a sacred duty to always protect this place. And she even mentions, look at their, oh, look at his faces. Because I was like, I gotta make sure this one doesn't tank my cafe business. Look at them. They are totally chaotic younger siblings to their older sibling. They're like, yeah, Gloria, don't mess it up. Oh, I love her so much. Gloria's like, hey. And then we have Nancy. Nancy's coming along also. Yes. Mama is coming to the country. And they're like, Mama. And I like how Bill kind of offered this. Because Nancy could have said yes. And that would have been totally fine. A little bit awkward. But I think it totally would have been fine. Because Bill's like, hey, Nancy. Like, oh, like, I know we have our arrangements and everything. But, hey, we have room in the farm. Like, you can take a spare room. You don't need to lug that big trailer here, because if it's going to be inconvenience for you, you can stay with us. And then even Nancy says, oh, Bill, I really appreciate it. That's really sweet of you. But I'm good with how things are with our separate living arrangements. And then Bill says, oh, that works for me. Perfect. Again, it didn't drag on too long. It, like, there wasn't, like, a member of the party was kind of saying, like, oh, like, you should do this over this because of, like, being, like, really sassy. No, just being honest with each other. And again, more development with these two characters. With Bill trusting Nancy more and Nancy becoming more responsible. I'm not going to name all the episodes. There's, like, a bunch with these two. But especially with Nancy becoming more responsible and stuff like that. And Bill trusting her. So I'm not going to get into them. But because there's a lot. But they're great. They're great. So again, Bill wanted to offer Nancy a place to stay in case the trailer was an inconvenience. Her mobile home was an inconvenience. Nancy appreciates it, and she doesn't call him dumb or anything, but no, she says, I really appreciate it. That's really sweet. But, you know, I'm good with everything how it is, with our separate living arrangements. And Bill says, that works for me, and he doesn't press on. Perfect. There is a little thing in the, you know what, I'll save it for another time, but I was going to say about, like, their, like, relationship where I was like, okay, you're kind of pressing, like, a little bit too hard on the gas pedal, just a bit, but this is perfect. This is perfect right here. And they're kind of like, oh, kids, like, oh, you're ready to go? And, you know, Crick's like, oh, I think we are, huh, Tilly? And she's like, yeah, I just want to get one last look at the place. I just want to play this right here. And look at Bill's face. Like, yeah, we made a lot of memories here. I want to play this right here.
Nice look.
Wow, we sure did make a lot of memories in this place.
That we did, brother. That we did.
Sorry, I just want to, did this shot right here, brother and sister saying goodbye to home for like all of the show, they've been living here in this house, and now they're leaving. You know, they're moving back to their, I guess, quote unquote, their real home, because this is always was going to be like temporary until we can get back onto our feet. And they've been in this house for years. Like, you know, because how many New Years have they been through again? Let's see. So, wait, hold on a second. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Christmas episode in season 3. I'm not sure this. I need to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be one in season 3, which obviously New Year's is going to come after that. Like, you know, even though they skip it like in the episode, it comes after it, so that means the new year. So that's going to happen in season 3. There was a New Year's episode that happened in season 2 without Christmas, but there was the Christmas episode in season 1 that happened without New Year's. But New Year's still like happens, so you can't skip in like in the timeline. So let's see. So it passes a new year in season 1, and then passes a new year again in season 2. So by that point in season 2, and it was like season 2B, like near the end, they'd been at this place for like a year. And then, so I would say, I guess maybe not years, but like a year and a half, I would say. Almost 2 years. I would say they've been here for almost 2 years. But if you can imagine, like a year anniversary for, even almost 2 year anniversary for moving into this place with Alice. Like, you know? So again, this brother-sister bond, I love it. And they're like, bye, Grandma's house, bye, big city. And Tilly's like, oh, goodbye, Tilly. And I'm glad that she includes Cricket saying, hey, they say goodbye too. And Cricket's like, aw. And Alice's like, oh, you two, like, you better hug me next. And I'm glad that Nancy and Bill come in with the hug too. I love it. And she's like, y'all better call. And he's like, oh, don't worry, we'll call, of course. And then they come into the car. It's pretty cool to see Remy's here. And pretty cool that we see Tilly and Cricket looking at Remy. Because obviously, they're going back home. This is going to be Remy's first time, 1, in the country, 2, at their house. And Bill's looking at Tilly because, I guess because I think he just likes Tilly the best, maybe. Who knows? And look, Alice and Gloria just saying goodbye. Oh, I love it so much. And they wave goodbye. And Nancy's like, oh, see ya. And hey, take a look at this. People made like a reference to this to spoilers for Steven Universe Future. This is kind of like a similar thing. Here's the thing though. I'm kind of disappointed because I really wanted, even though again it's a day trip to the country, so again they're not going to move across continents. I get that, I understand, but I really wish we got actual goodbyes. Cricket and Gabriella are dating. Shouldn't she be with them to say goodbye instead of being here? And Andromeda, she's supposed to be Tilly's best friend. Like, shouldn't she be there too? And aren't they supposed to be like fishing buddies, even though they have like a weird relationship? But Bill got really weird with them, so and I don't mind that he's here. He's on his phone, like who cares? But I would say out of these people, of who I wanted to be with them, to talk to them, to say goodbye, I would have liked Community Sue, Andromeda, Gabriella, Brett, was that all of them? Officer Keys. We even have Cricket's little buddy. He should have definitely been there. And it's pretty cool that they're all like saying goodbye and stuff like that. But wouldn't Tilly get out of the car to say goodbye to Andromeda? Unless it was off screen and they kind of redid it already. But why do that off screen? Again, these two, they don't need to be part of it. Benny and Weezy, they don't have enough character development. He was weird with Bill. And hold on, let me go back. And with Kiki, she did get some development, but not as much as Andromeda and Gabriella. So if she didn't show up and she was like here, I wouldn't mind it because she didn't have like not much development. Like she had a little bit more development than Benny and Weezy. But again, these two, Community Sue, Brett, they've been with the Greens for like so much. Why would it be here? And it comes below. Can like someone like explain that other than, oh, this is a cool shot of just them saying goodbye? I don't know. If I was me personally, if I was writing the show, I would have had the character to say goodbye, like an actual meaningful goodbye, not just a wave. Again, like some of these characters, this is perfect for them. But like, oh look, Andromeda's showing that she is like is into these conspiracy theories with the Sasquatch portrait. Wouldn't it be nice for Andromeda to like draw a picture of a Sasquatch. Like, oh, I've been improving with my drawings and stuff of. You know how investigators and stuff like they can sketch really well. Not all of them, but like some can sketch really well. Those caricature type of people. What if she like made like a present, like a going away present for Tilly, and she would have been in that shot with, like, saying goodbye to Gloria and Alice. Why couldn't Gloria? Well, why couldn't Andromeda be there? Again, Community Sue. She's been with them a lot. Gabriella, girlfriend of Cricket. Brett, he's literally next door neighbor. Come on. I don't know. With me personally, I think it's a missed opportunity. But again, Benny, Weezy, Kiki, I can see them being here. They didn't have that much development. It's totally fine. But I don't know. In the comments below, who would you actually like to have like a main real goodbye, not just a wave, out of all these characters? Me, Community Sue, Andromeda, Gabriella, Brett, Officer Keys, and what was his name? Tyler, the little buddy person. So like what's Zachary? I'm not sure. But and like they're saying goodbye. They go into the expressway and like like the wind in their hair, and like Bills is looking at the landscape of big city, and yeah, they're just going home, and there's the Kludge, and yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to play another clip, but yeah, just take a look at that view. That cloud is a bit Oh, I guess it's always blurry. Okay. But, yeah. And guess what? All of this I just explained is before the theme song. We're not even at the country yet. Like, oh my goodness. But, yeah. Whew, sorry. But, guess what? Because this is a special episode and we're going to be in the country, Season 3 actually has a new intro. So I'm going to get away from this clip and go into that clip. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to play kind of parts of it. And then I'm just going to leave at that clip when I talk about like the rest of the episode. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, and we're back. And so basically I was at the first clip, and now we're at the second clip, which is basically the new Season 3 intro, which is basically the Greens moving to the country. Well, I guess I should say moving back to the country. Alright, so here we go. So instead of Bill packing up the truck, in the country going to big city, we have him packing the trunk of the Kludge from big city going back to the country, and we see Remy and Cricket, and we see Gloria Plus Green Cafe, and how it's very different. We have Tilly and Cricket in like different positions, and we also have including Remy, and we also have Bill more excited, where in the original intro where we see Bill in the truck, he's kind of like this, like he's like very like nervous. He's really excited, which makes sense. And also the theme is very more country, very, I would say very bluegrass. I would say I definitely preferred than the original intro. The original intro is so good. I like it, but this one, country, I just love it. So you see them kind of going through the town, big city, and yeah, you see now leaving big city. It's the opposite. And you see Cricket. We have Tilly. We have Bill. And I want to play this right here. I'm so sorry about that. That was a bit low. You couldn't hear anything. Sorry. So let me Okay, let's try that again. Okay. And basically, what I wanted to get in was that very country theme, because I just love it so much. And also, what I wanted to include is that Nancy is finally in the intro. After all of her development, I was like, why isn't she in the intro? Why? And now she's finally here. I don't know why they decided to put her in until like now. I don't understand why they didn't do it earlier. But I'm glad that Remy's still in the intro, and he actually has like a name with like the rest. It isn't just like him in the intro. But Alice and Gloria are no longer in the intro, which is a bummer. It's honestly a bummer. But you know, I guess it's supposed to represent this is like the core cast, basically. And you see how Nancy and Remy are kind of swinging on the swing? I wonder if Nancy and Remy are going to have some episodes together. It could just be just the placement of like the brand new characters just together. But you know, that'd be pretty cool if they get some bonding. I wonder if these are going to be some new characters that we're going to see. You see like a guy on a horse, like a cowboy. You see, of what used to be them in cement doing the cement angels. They're in mud. And you just like before, we have Cricket, Remy, and Tilly. Was Tilly there before? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tilly. Wait, was Tilly there before? I'm pretty sure it was Cricket and Remy where they were escaping from Gloria, and Gloria's like, hey, you kids, like, get out of here. But now we have Cricket, Remy, and Tilly, and now it's Bill saying that, oh, like, get out of the cornfields, basically. And that's pretty cool. That's change. And instead of, Cricket with Bill trying to do some hammering, now Cricket is helping Nancy wrench the screw. And you have Cricket's underwear. Instead of going to a manhole, he's going into the I would say this pond, and I definitely prefer this better. Because now we get to see Tilly and Remy join in with them. Pretty cool. Whoa. Look at this catfish. I love that this addition to the intro, because I don't think I've ever seen this before, because when you just play it, it goes really quick. And look, you know how it was the animals that would help Cricket stand up, and it's Alice, Tilly, and Bill would put up the numbers, but now it's the family along with Phoenix is like helping them, and 10 and Melissa go had like a number, but we can't see what it is. And yeah, Big City Greens. We're here. We're finally at the country. I am really glad that Remy's with the group. And yeah, this was the intro. So, and yeah, there's no more clips. Sorry, but let's just get on with the rest of the episode. So basically, and I like how they do the title cards where he says like the move is basically the truck going past a hill, and like the grass forms like the letters. Pretty cool. And basically, Cricket actually hands Remy like a kind of like a brochure of like the country. Oh, here's our fort, and it's surrounded by sycamore leaves, and like, oh, here's the woodland creatures, and Tilly said, oh yeah, I always had a great connection with them, and like, and Cricket said, I was the country king, and when I get back into my zone, I'll reclaim the throne once again. And they actually go into a song. I liked it. And Cricket's basically saying that I was a master of the woods. I chopped wood with my bare hands. Like, I was a master of the wilderness. I could find my way around. I never got lost. And like, I'm the country king. And Tilly, I love Tilly's voice so much. Like, I was a friend to critters, big and small. And like, I settled disputes between owls to find worms. And when I get home, I will finally be with my critters when I would get home. And then we have Bill saying that, like, oh, but when I was at my farm, I had all my ducks in a row. Oh, I had no problems in the world until Nancy, because she went to jail. And basically, and basically they're all singing about, like, oh, until we get home. And it was even Tilly that she was getting close to kind of not fully falling out the window, but she was like, when I get home. And then Bill's like, Tilly, get inside. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry, Papa. It's, oh, don't worry. Like, we were just getting excited. And it just stopped the song. And then just get back into it. When we get home. Oh, this was like a thing I forgot to mention where Tilly and Nancy were doing like kind of like a trucker's code thing, like, oh, like Red Danger and was it Tilly Tornado? I forgot like her code name. And then Bill's like, I'm not sure if it means anything, Tilly, but Nancy just understood her. It's like mother-daughter lingo, trucker, mother-daughter trucker lingo, I guess. And so going back to the song, and they're just singing stuff. And then they finally came to the house, and Tilly's like, I can't believe we're back here. And Cricket's like, country. He rolls down the window. He goes to the grass, and he's feeling the grass, like this type of grass, like in a long time. He's finally here. You're finally back home. Nancy, pulls up her motorcycle that's attached to the trailer. She opens the trailer so the farm animals can come here. Because it's the same classic animals. Miss Brenda the cow, Melissa the goat, Herbert the pig, and I'm not sure if Phoenix the dog, your Queen Phoenix, but I'm not sure if they had any distinct names for like the chickens and the roosters, except for Copper the evil rooster. And he actually came because like, oh y'all, like at the truck, and we have actually Copper the evil rooster who comes out of the trailer, and Nancy just doesn't bother him. He just walks out. He's kind of like the king. He kind of owns the place. I'm like, ooh, is there gonna be like another like an animal centered sequel? Like, what was it called? Animal Farm, I think it was called. I might be wrong. I need to double check on that, but I believe that's what the episode was called, where the animals were like the main focus, but like the humans were like the B storyline back at the farmers market. So I wonder, since the animals are here, Phoenix is still here, Melissa and Miss Brenda are still here, because they were like main characters in that episode. And Copper, he was like the villain, he was there, and now he's here. So maybe we might get a sequel. It's a possibility. So everyone's trying to get used to the place, and like, even Bill said like, when I was finished with my hard work, I always go to my front porch swing and I watch the sunset. I love that. And like, and Nancy's like, hey Bill, I'm proud of you. Like, you did it. You finally got your farm back. And he's like, yeah, I just gonna ignore that. Yeah. Okay. So he's like, yeah, I did, didn't I? And neighbors. Okay. And so they're going inside, and everyone's getting used to the place. And immediately when Cricket and Nancy like plop onto the couch, it's very dusty. It's like, oh man, it's more dusty than I remember. Yeah, it's been a while. And then everyone's having like a good time. Remy's exploring the place. Nancy and Cricket are trying to get settled. Even Cricket said, oh, the couch is more lumpy than I remember. It was always like his he's called a shaky, like his baby rattle. And you know how we have like memories of when we were little kids, and when we go back to those memories, you just have that good feeling type. I'm not sure that ever really happened to me, except for some nursery rhymes that when I hear it's like, yeah, that brings back memories. Like I was like, yeah, I remember. I don't think anything else did, but that's what Cricket's like. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Because like it's imprinted, you know, because I'm learning music appreciation and stuff like that, and a little bit of music theory, just a bit, just a tad. So I'm kind of getting used to that type of stuff. Like, oh, music imprints into babies. You know, I didn't know that before, but I know that now. I mean, when I learned it in class. Anyway. So, right, so everyone's having a good time, and we have, Tilly's kind of, looking at, like, the measurements. This is Cricket when he was 3, Tilly when she was 5, like, you know, Cricket when he was 9, so, like, she's kind of, you know, feeling it, and then Bill's like, hey, Tilly, what's wrong? It's like, oh, I don't know, Papa. I thought I'd be really excited. And when I went to the house, I was really excited. But now I'm just getting like a feeling in the place. It feels kind of off. And then Cricket said, well, I don't know why you would feel off, Tilly. That everything's the same as the way we left it. I mean, sure, everything's kind of dusty and dark, and we had to move around some furniture. But other than that, it's practically the same. And even Bill said, yeah, the owners of the farmland, they didn't. When they foreclosed our house, they didn't sell it to anyone else because I'm not sure if they couldn't afford it or not. I'm not sure. They didn't really explain that part, but so yeah, everything that they left here, like of what was like already built, no one touched it. And, you know, except for like a tarp that was like over the couch, and like, you know, Tilly's like, oh, like, yeah, I'm sure it's nothing. Then we have Remy, and he's like, oh, hey, Mr. Green, what's this? And it's like, oh, what are you talking about? And it's, oh, those are my wood carvings. I'm not sure why Remy couldn't recognize like the deer. He's like, oh, I like the blinking one. He's like, the what now? He's like, a live deer, a live deer. I like the way the deer exited because Bill opened the door, and with even Tilly tried to convince him, like, oh, I'll sue that, and Bill's like, no. I'll do it. He opens the door. Okay, Critter, get out of here. And deer just smashes through the window. Well, that backfired. But I think Remy should recognize that was a real deer. Even though the deer did have brown fur and the carvings were brown, it was still a different shade of brown. And Remy's smart. He has a high IQ. Even though he's a kid, you should know that wood carvings don't blink. Like, I don't know. I think that should be wood carving 101 or 102. Anyway. So I like how the deer escaped, and then Bill's like, oh, I guess I have to patch this up, and then Nancy's like, oh, can't you just do that tomorrow? You were so excited that, like you know, you were gonna go into your front porch swing, and like, hey, maybe I was gonna join you later, and like, you know, because the sunset sounds really great. And and so, oh, don't worry, I'll get to it, and I just wanted to patch this one thing. So okay, just promise you relax, because you know they're still good friends. So Nancy wants to make sure that Bill is nice and relaxed. You wouldn't want your friend stressed. Like, you know. So, and he's like, and when basically Tilly, Remy, and Cricket go up to Cricket and Tilly's room, basically, and then Nancy's gonna go to her trailer and start unpacking a few things, and Bill's like, I'm just gonna patch this one thing. Oh, even Nancy's like, oh, Bill, don't get carried away. So, oh, when has ever Bill Green taken things carried away? Let me ponder on that. And he's like, oh, hey, like the pipes are leaking up on the ceiling, and oh, this is like a loose floorboard. Like, oh, like, you know, that could be dangerous. Oh, I'll patch a few things. That'll be it. Oh boy. Then we get to Cricket, Tilly, and Remy, and so this is where we get the A plot and B plot. I would say the A plot is Tilly and Cricket showing Remy around. That's the A plot, and then the B plot is Bill. Spoilers are trying to fix everything, every little thing, and Nancy's just trying to calm him down, like, go relax when you swing, please. And so we basically did go up to, it's one of these rooms right here. It's one of these two. This is where we stayed, and it's like, oh, like wow, this was your room, and even and tells, oh, it would look much better when we actually have our stuff in here, and because of all the dust, and it actually made an outline of Cricket's hammock. And Rem's like, oh, can I take a picture? And he's like, yeah, you're my best friend. Like, of course I can take a picture. And he's like taking a picture of everything, and then like Cricket's talking to Tilly like tourist. Oh, that's really funny. And like they're kind of talking and stuff, and like, oh, hey, check out this tree, and then Remy kind of shakes the tree. Oh, nice to meet you. I think I was originally gonna take a point off for that, because like, why would you shake a tree's branch? But Cricket does try to explain, like, oh, this isn't just any tree. This is my escape tree. So I guess Remy was just trying to be polite, just in case, like, it was an important tree, which it was to Cricket. And basically Cricket goes to like escape from the window basically, and it just smacks him back because he hasn't done it in like a couple years, and then boom, he gets smacked to the ground. He's like, oh my goodness, are you okay? He's like, yeah, but I never do a faulty on the escape tree. I don't know, something's wrong. And then Till's like, I was kind of feeling weird downstairs. Now Cricket can't go on his escape tree without getting pummeled. Or maybe I should ask the Donaldsons. Like, who's the Donaldsons? Oh, that's the neighbor squirrels. And then Till's trying to talk to them, and they're kind of doing like weird faces. It's like, oh, Miss Donaldson, it's me, like your neighbor Tilly. I know we haven't chatted in a while. And he's like, and he starts throwing acorns at them. What's going on? It's like, oh, and then Till's like, well, the Donaldsons never really acted like that before, and I'm pretty sure we left on pretty good terms. Sorry. And then they're kind of like thinking, like, okay, like, what's going on? And then, like, hey, I think I know what's going on. I think because we haven't been here for a while, I think we need to connect with our roots a bit more. So let's go to our fort. And like, Remy still has a brochure, and so like, yeah, let's do it. So they're gonna go out to the woods and find their Cricket and Tilly's fort. Pretty cool. Now we get back to the B plot where Bill is like fixing stuff, and then it's like, oh hey Bill, like, you good? And she says, oh cool, you fixed the window, and you have Bill. What was he fixing? Or he was fixing a cabinet, and she's like, hey, look, I only have like 35 things to go, and the whole cabinet. He was fixing like a door, with like the hinges of a cabinet. The whole cabinet shelf just, and he's just like, and Nancy knows her ex-husband. She's like, Bill, you're not gonna go into fix-it mode, are you? He's like, no. and he's like, I just have 36 more things to go. Well, I guess 37 if you count like the cabinets and the shelf. So I guess technically 37. If I got that number right. And like, she's like, okay, I'll come to check on you later. And then we get to Cricket, Tilly, and Remy. And Cricket's like, okay, watch the Country King in action. We just need to find a good pair of walking sticks. And here's this nice long stick. Let me break it in two. And he does it, and it's not working. He can't chop wood with his bare hands anymore. And he's just trying to break it, and then boom, smacks him back. And he's like, oh. And I thought this was a little, I don't know everything about trees, so maybe this type of wood made this happen, because he tried to put this stick between these two boulders, not huge, but boulders, and he tried to basically break it, and that impact broke the boulders, but the stick is still intact, and then smacked Cricket along with the impact, basically. So, like, can that actually happen? I'm just gonna assume it can. Yeah, I'm assuming like this is like a really strong piece of wood. Like maybe bamboo probably can. Maybe I'm not saying this one's bamboo. I'm just saying like maybe that could be a possibility. And and basically he's like, you know what, walking sticks are dumb. We can just rely on keen instincts. It's like, well, okay. And until it's like, hey, maybe we should ask for directions. And Crick is like, no, we don't need directions. And he basically is listening to the forest, and he's like, oh, he's even like, kind of like telling a joke. He's like, oh no, he didn't, right? And like he's like, oh, they're telling us to go this way, and then they find a couple bunch of bunnies, and he's like, oh, and I love this part. Tilly's trying to talk to the animals, and due to the animals' point of view, it looks like the most terrifying thing to like an animal as possible. And they just scurry away. And oh, they must be leading us. Like, no, Tilly. And then you see Moose. I'm not sure if that was like a lion. No, it was a bear. It was a bear, and like it was a bunch of animals. A deer. There was a deer there, and Tilly, is like doing like a musical number, and she's like, oh, I know this little ditty I haven't sang in a while. All the animals are kind of looking at like this. Okay, well, girl, what are you trying to pull? And she starts singing, and then they just roar at her, and they say, oh, we gotta run. And oh, I forgot about this part where there was poison oak, and Cricket basically said like my bare feet, like I basically crossed. I did basically not been wearing shoes for like a long time. I'm basically immune to a lot of things, especially poison oak. And he basically clears the path. I cleared the path for you guys, and then he just his feet, both his feet are pink and huge. He goes to the mud, and the mud like shrinks it. I wish like the mud kind of stayed on his feet. It just got clean kind of instantly when he went to the grass. It's not a huge, it's not a huge deal. And just adds a little bit of detail, but it's fine. I liked how his feet were pink and huge. It's pretty cool. It's like, and Remy until he make their way all the way to Cricket, to where the mud was, and to where the mud is. And Remy's like, I thought you were immune to poison oak, and he said, I am, at least I was. And he's even saying that, oh, but nature is just doing like a welcome back prank for Cricket and Tilly. Okay, guys, your practical joke should be over. You got us. Like, thank you for the welcome back gift. And this is basically where we get back to seeing the animals, and they fall into a creek, and basically, Tilly's like, oh no, I think we're, and then Cricket's no, Tilly, don't say it. And she says, I think we're lost. And Cricket's like, no, I'm the country king. I can't be lost. And they're sort of kind of panicking, and Cricket's kind of in denial. We get back to the B plot where Bill is trying to multitask, and he's like fixing the oven, and he's like, yeah, that's hot. And he's like, I need to multitask. Because even like the clock got broken, so he can't even tell like when the sun's gonna set unless he goes outside, but he has to fix everything. So he's just multitasking. He's in the sink, his foot is holding onto a drill, he's just fixing everything. And it's like, what are you doing? And then he said multitasking was a problem. And Nancy just tries to pull Bill out. He's like, oh, okay, Nancy, thank you. Now all I gotta do is fix this, this, and this, and only have 57 more things to go. And Nancy's like, you know, Bill, I really think there's something you need to fix that's outside. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's just kind of like in like ultra zone. He's like, is it the floor? No, it's not the floor, Bill. Is it the roof? No, it's not the roof. Come here. And it's the swing. Hey, doesn't it look like nice? He's like, I do see the problem. He's like, yeah, your butt print literally makes your name. And she added like a marker of the ILL because his butt makes the B part. So it's a butt joke, but it's fine. It works. And like, you know, I do see I do see the problem. Like, yeah, the paint is chipping. No, Bill. Like the rope is not sturdy enough. No, Bill, you gotta sit. He's like, Nancy, I don't have time for this. And she just takes his tool belt, and his pants fall down, Is this gonna be for your own good? No, Nancy, let's be reasonable about this. And she just shuts the door. He's like, no. And so basically we get back to the A plot, and they're basically trying to find a way out of the creek, and Remy's saying like, hey, look, those are sycamore leaves. And even Crick saying, oh no, like the jungle madness has gotten to Remy. I think I have to eat you now. And he's like, wait, what? Like, no, look, remember from the brochure, and he even showed it to Crick and Tilly, those are sycamore leaves. They're leaves that come from the trees that's connected with your fort. And Cricket is like, Remy, you're a genius. I'm glad I didn't have to eat you. And he's like, you're serious? And they basically go to the fort, and then and we get back to the B plot where and basically Nancy's like, I know I kind of feel bad. I feel bad about taking Bill's tools, but as long as he gets to relax on his swing, then he can get his tool belt back. And like, he just has to do everything right now. And like, oh, like something like broke. I forgot what it was. He's like, oh, don't worry, you can fix it later. The door breaks open. Is it the door broke open? And then Bill just seals back his tools and boom, 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 boom. He fixed it. He broke the door and then just fixed it. He's like, and Bill's like acting all crazy and stuff. He's like, like he even goes on the wall at one point. He's like acting like so crazy. Oh my goodness! And I like how Nancy's like, Bill Green, why'd you have to fix everything right now? And then she flashes the flashlight into Bill's eyes. He's like a vampire. It's pretty scary. And then Bill's like, Nancy, I have to fix it. And like, it's, oh, give me the rest of my tools, please. No, you don't have to fix everything right now. It's like, Nancy, all I had to do is do this, this, and this, and then I have 137 more things to go. Bill, no. Oh my goodness, no. Nancy, take away his tools. Oh, he's like, Bill, he's like, Nancy, you won't be able to stop me. And she just whips the tool belt away from her, and she accidentally knocks out a lamp, and it just causes a chain of events of just breaks most of the things. And then Nancy and Bill just don't know what to do or say, and Nancy just tries to think of something, and she's like, Bill, are you okay? Bill's like, I'm sorry, Nancy, for acting all crazy. I just wanted to fix everything. And he even tries to fix the door, like this door right here, and it breaks. So he just tries to put it like sideways so it could just stay like for now. And he's just like, I just wanted to go on my front porch swing so badly. I just wanted to fix everything. I just wanted everything to be in order. So like, there will be like no problems. And then Nancy's like, is that why you wanted to fix everything right away? And he's like, yeah, that's the reason. And she's, oh, Bill, I'm like, man. And then we get back to the A plot, and they make it to the fort basically, and even Remy said, "Oh, this is a bunch of junk. Never mind, guys, we're not there yet." He's like, "No, that's our fort," and they're just sitting defeated because Crick and Tilly just admit, yeah, this whole day's been a bust. It's like, even Crick is like, Tilly doesn't connect with the animals anymore. I am not the master of the wilderness. I'm not the country king anymore. Why would our fort be any different? Of course it's damaged. There was even like a sign that they did when when they were little. There's like with red paint. And that's even like damage. And he's like, oh man. It kind of reminds me of, spoilers for the Owl House. It was a season 1 episode, Understanding Willow. When Amity and Willow used to be childhood friends, they actually made like a sand fort or type of thing. And they actually had like a flag that said A plus W for Amity plus Willow that was like buried in the sand, and they had to rebuild it. This kind of reminds me of this, of their sign for Cricket and Tilly was beneath all this moss, so they had to kind of unbury it in a way. Of course, there are different shows and like different kind of issues going around, but it did kind of remind me of that. Pretty cool. So yeah, back to Big City Greens. So they're kind of this whole day's been a bust, and like, and and like we basically get back to Bill, and it's just I just wanted to fix everything so fast, and I didn't want any problems, but you're right, I can't do everything all at once, but it's just and then we get back to Crick saying it's just so overwhelming, and it's like Remy just wants to cheer up his like dearest friends, and he just goes up to the fort. And even Kurt's like, Remy, you're gonna break your dang neck. Like, get down from there. You're gonna hurt yourself, buddy. And he just goes on top of the, not the roof of the fort, but like the what we call it, like the second floor, I guess. And he's like, the view looks pretty good from up here. And yeah, it's a pretty good view. Now, I don't think it's the best view, but it's a pretty good view. And he's like, hey, there's still some good wood that we can use, and probably more woods that wood we can find in the woods, and your bark and stuff like that. We can fix up this fort, like, if you want to. And even Craig says, like, Remy, we appreciate that, but it's not just the fort. Everything is different. Everything's been a bust. And, and Remy's just trying to, I don't think I can do his speech justice. I wish I can play it, but unfortunately, I can't. But I'll try my best. Remy's basically says, well, not everything's gonna stay the same. You guys haven't been back here that long, so of course things are not gonna be totally the same. Things will be different. Of course, like, the animals are not as friendly as you remember, and Cricky, you have been away from this place for years, so of course your body is gonna be used to this type of ground. Like you're used to, like, walking cement and walking to halls and walking through the community centers. If you had to get used to that, now you're kind of readjusting here. And even Remy says, hey, I don't think it's just that the country that's changed. Maybe you two have changed too. And they're kind of shocked. They're like, but I'm glad that Remy said, hey, that's a good thing. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. And hey, I know everything's not perfect right now, but I know we'll be able to get through it. And when Remy says that, it transitions into Nancy bringing Bill out to a swing and just looking at the view. It's not sunset yet, but it's getting near it. And Bill's just kind of tearing up, saying, like, I really needed this. Thank you, Nancy. She's like, yeah, no problem. You're my friend. All of that. And then Remy's like, hey, you two want to help me rebuild this fort? He even says, before that, Tilly, I'm sure that you, with all your might, you'll be able to connect with the animals of the wilderness. You can get your connection back. And Cricket, there's no doubt in my mind that you can't become the country king again. I know you will get your throne back, but it's just gonna take time. And you want to rebuild this fort with me? And they're like, yeah. And they start rebuilding it. They get the sign back, and they clean up the place. It's awesome. And then we have Bill and Nancy kind of swinging on the porch. They're just swaying in the swing, I guess I should say. And it's sunset. I love that. And then they're actually clanging drinks. It's like, what was it? Lemonade or juice? I forgot. And then Bill's like, hey, Nancy, I really needed this. Thank you. And I promise I'll take it easy from now on and not try to fix everything all at once. And and Nancy's like, oh, Bill, I really appreciate it, but if you don't, I'll fix you. She gets a drill. And then Bill's like, oh, hey, look at the kids. And hey, kids, you okay? Oh, yeah, things are different, but hey, Remy cheered us up, and everything's pretty okay now. Well, that's pretty good. And even Chris, I called Dad, see? And then Bill's like, no, I'm holding a drink, Cricket. But before Bill could finish the sentence, Cricket Ray jumped. But don't worry, the Bill, the drink didn't spill or anything. And the Cricket's phone is like, Barracuda, and it's Grandma calling, and there was even a point where they were kind of tracking the fort, there was a tree that looks like Grandma kind of doing like a pose, and he's like, "Wah!" That was pretty funny. It means the tree does look like Alice. It does look like her. And he's like, "Grandma, like you're getting too close to the camera." It's like, what? It's you just see her eyeball. Cricket starts laughing. He's like, "Oh, don't patronize me, boy." He's like, "Oh, how's the country? How's moving back?" And then Bill's like, "It was a bit of a rough start, but hey, don't worry, we'll get there." And Cricket's like, "Yeah, I know we will." And Bill's like, "You know what? After all we've been through, it's so good to be back home." And we actually get like this end credit sequence of basically of like the farm. I forgot the different places that they showed. I think it showed the house, the living room, Cricket and Tilly's room. Cricket, Tilly, and Remy's room. I think they're all gonna stay the same one room. It showed the barn. I think it showed inside the barn, and I think it showed the wilderness at one point. And yeah, it was a really good end credit sequence. So, yeah. So let's see, what score should I? So that's basically the end of the episode. So what should I rate this? 80%. I thought this was a great episode, and what a great way to end season 3A, the first half of Big City Greens season 3. Solid B. It was great. Again, not perfect. There was a couple things I really wish were different, especially like the goodbye. Again, the goodbye was great. I just wish it was better if we added other characters. Come on, Andromeda is Tilly's best friend. Gabriella's Cricket's girlfriend. Brett, he's been next door for a long time. Like, he should be there. Community Sue, for events, they always go to the community center. Even Community Sue actually went to the grand opening of Gloria's Cafe. Like, come on. She should be there instead of just sit a wave. Like, come on. Anyway, I even like Gloria and Bill's moment. I really, really like that. And Alice, I thought she was good also. So, yeah. So, and comments below. I guess, what was your favorite episode for Big City Greens season 3A? Was this it? Or if not, is this like in your like top 5? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But anyway, everyone, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to share the video, and I will see you guys. I'm pretty sure it'll be today, but it might be today or tomorrow. For me going over the rest of the episode titles for Big City Greens. Big City Greens, season 3B. We get those episodes. And so I'll see you guys today or tomorrow for that. Alright. Bye.